Hello and welcome, everyone. This is another episode of the Unfiltered Dose. My name is Calvin Morrow, and I am going to be moderating today's conversation. I want to thank you all for joining us, whether it's live or you're watching the recording later. Today's session is all about busting weight loss myths. So, with so much advice out there, fad diets, quick fixes, it can be incredibly hard to know what actually works. This conversation is designed to cut through the noise and focus on what truly supports long-term sustainable success. Before we get started, a quick note on the format. This is going to be an interview style webinar followed by a live Q&A at the end. So you're welcome to submit your questions throughout the entire session. And we're going to try and get through as many of them as we can. That'll be towards the end of the webinar. So I'd like to introduce the speakers. First, joining us again is Dr. Paul Hrkal, ND. He's a naturopathic doctor with a clinical focus on neurological health, chronic pain, and brain injuries. He's delivered more than 100 webinars, podcasts, and live presentation. He serves the Scientific Advisory Board of Complete Concussion Management and is the co-founder of the Concussion Fix program. He also works at the Pain and Wellness Center on an Ontario Ministry of Health funded study and serves as the scientific advisor for AquaOmega, who is sponsoring today's webinar. We're also thrilled to welcome Gina Livy. Gina is, of course, the founder and CEO of the Livy Method. She's a best-selling author and a keynote speaker who has helped over 147,000 people transform not just their weight, but their relationship with food and their bodies. So with more than 30 years experience, hello, Gina.
The bio goes on, does it?
It goes on. I want to talk about how many podcast downloads you have, over 7 million.
Oh my.
And that you're a leading voice in sustainable, real-world weight loss, no gimmicks or no extremes. I can tell you're ready. So with that, I think we should just jump in. Dr. Hrkal, Gina, thank you both for being here. I hand the floor over to you.
Thank you very much. Gina, thanks for joining me. And this is so cool, as we were saying backstage, which we just found out everyone could actually hear us, which is, okay, like a really nice sneak peek. You were not expecting that for those early birds, but thank you so much for joining us. Gina, it's always the other way around. You're interviewing me.
I know.
And I get to kind of interview you today, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I don't be surprised if I cut you off and start asking you questions. But yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, but you know what? It was when we planned this. I do lots of podcasts. I just did one this morning. I did a presentation last night to the North American Association of Naturopathic Physicians. But this one I was looking forward to most because I actually haven't had a chance to ask you some questions that I want to know, because you've worked with so many people in the weight loss space. As you know, most people that are probably here have heard me on your podcast.
Yes.
And they know that you have a fantastic weight loss program. You and I started working together about 5 years ago, where my wife went through the program and she lost 40 pounds after our third child. She felt and looked fantastic. And I was like, who is this lady in our kitchen? I'm listening to her every morning. She swears like a trucker sometimes, and this thing's working. And then I start asking her what's going on, and then kind of the rest is history. And then you and I started working together. So do you remember those days where we kind of started up?
Yeah, I remember when I loved about you, there was so much going on with, like, people were pseudoscience was like the buzzword, and insulin resistance. They were saying that's pseudoscience, and now we've come to realize years later, like, insulin resistance is the root cause of a lot of things, even root cause. Right? The powers that be were out there slamming root cause, it's pseudoscience, and things have come a long way. And I love that you were such a straight shooter, because I could just come out and ask you stuff, because I didn't want my program, people thinking it was like a supplement-based program or, a bunch of wackadoo, bullshit. I don't know if we can swear on this podcast, but I'll mind my P's and Q's. But that's what I loved about you right away. And I also love that you would challenge me. Like, I don't want to be surrounded by yes people, and I want my program to evolve as the science evolves. But I find, especially when it comes to naturopathic doctors, a lot of times they're ahead of the science, because what you do has been around for a really long time. And I love science, but it's always science until science changes.
Yeah.
And a lot has changed in this space where a lot of things, like for example, insulin, like I took that all out of the program because it wasn't really my lane, even though I know it was a major player. And now it's like, I got to put it back in. That's what I loved about you right away, is we can have really real conversations and challenge what was going on and what was being said at the time.
Yeah, people that get to know me know that I shoot them straight. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, and I appreciate that you gave me a platform to do that.
Yeah.
I think your program really just made sense.
Mm.
So I do want to get to maybe outlining a little bit of that. But before we do that, Gina, one of the questions as I was kind of reflecting on how I want to kind of play this is, I just want to know, what's your mission? And I want to start off with this big question, like, what are you really excited and passionate about going forward? I'm going to ask you about kind of how you got started, but first I kind of want to know, what's the future for you here? Where's your head at?
Right. Like, listen, I think if GLP-1s, weight loss medications, didn't come along, I'd have the #1 weight loss company in the world. I do. I believe that. I used to think that's what I wanted. I've given this so much thought as everything has changed so quickly in the last couple of years. I think if you were to ask me last year at this time, what was I selling? I was selling hope. Hope that you can make change, hope that your body is working for you, not against you. Weight loss is sort of the way in, but for me, it was like, okay, I knew I had a weight loss program and process system method that worked because I had been helping clients one-on-one for like 30 years. So I knew I had something that was really effective, and not just effective for weight loss, but in a way people could maintain and sustain. So I knew that worked. So my goal was really, okay, let's create this weight loss thing that is going to help people be able to maintain and sustain. So what I really want to do at the surface is help people lose weight in a way they can actually maintain. As you know, I lost over 100 pounds, probably close to 150 over 30 years ago. My weight has fluctuated with my life, but I have all the tools and skills that I need to be self-aware and know what's going on and how to manage that, for lack of a better word. Now I think it's like, it's not just making the sustainable lifestyle changes to lose weight, or to do so that makes it easier to maintain and sustain your weight. It's really to design the life that you really beyond want to live, know you can be living, right? Like my vision for myself has always been like, where do I want to be in 5 years, 10 years? And then I show up in life like I've already achieved that. And it's those small things that you do. So weight loss isn't a problem that needs to be solved anymore, because weight loss medications have done that. Not to disregard what we do on the Livy method, obviously, and people needing to lose weight, but it's really about actually making change in their life so that someone doesn't have to spend their entire life struggling with their weight, or their entire life just, dragging their ass out of bed. Really be able to make change. And for women specifically, because this is really, so on Saturday is my menopause day, my one day. Right? You know how you're in menopause for one day? It's Saturday for me. I don't know if there's celebratory stuff happening in the background. But especially for women, because, I've been going through menopause when this menopause conversation exploded. And I want to help women get back to themselves. We get lost. We get lost when we have kids. Men do too, when they have families and into the world of having to pay their finances. But I want to help women get back to trusting themselves. And so many times I have not trusted myself when I was young, because I thought I didn't know better, when I had kids, because I felt lost, when I was married, when I got into business, and lately I keep saying to myself, no one's listening to me. No one's listening to me. But the reality is I'm not listening to myself. And so here I am finding myself again. And so I want to help women, especially so many who felt lost, or they just did all the things that we were told and taught, that we find out now we're really not, like the whole eat less, exercise more, starve ourselves, deprive ourselves. We've come to realize that is not it, right? Yeah, you can lose weight, but you can't maintain your weight. So I guess that it's evolved. It's your long and short answer. It's evolving constantly. I ask myself, what am I doing? What's my purpose? Like, what is it? And now I think it's to really focus on helping women specifically, although the program works really well, on making changes that help them live the life that they want to live, and are happy doing it along the way, enjoying life right now today. So,
It's almost like your personal journey is mirroring what you want to do on a business side, right?
Yeah. Well, did you see that trend is going around? People are like posting photos from 2016.
Yes,
I
I
did
saw
that.
that actually.
Yeah. At first I was like, why 2016? Then I realized, oh, it's 10
10
years
years.
ago. So much time goes by so fast. I'm always fascinated by how quickly time goes by and how literally it wasn't any one big thing that I've done in my life. It was just knowing where I wanted to go and then the little things along the way and trusting my gut. Every time I trust my gut, it's always the right move.
Mhm.
Whenever I listen to anybody else or don't trust that, that's when life goes sideways. Like why is it taking me this long to really know that I know best for myself, right? Like
Mhm.
yeah.
I have this saying with my patients. It's called mom syndrome, where most women go through their 20s, getting married, and they're starting their business or they're starting their work, and then they have kids in their 30s, and then that really lasts until mid 40s, mid to late 40s. And what happens, as you just pointed out, menopause. And so they've spent like almost 2 decades of their middle age lives just totally taking care of others, and they actually forget about themselves totally.
Yeah.
So all the people that I've worked through in the program and listening to all the members give feedback, it definitely is this: I need to reclaim the agency that I've kind of lost over the last 10, 20 years. So I love the fact that you're actually almost like this is like a mindset approach, more than just like, what, I want to bring the Livy program to 1 million people. I'm sure you probably want to do that too, but this is, I think to me, this is even next level.
Yeah. I mean, this is where, we have our maintenance program. It's really the maintenance and mindfulness program. And to me, that's what I'm in love with, those conversations that we're having over there, because people thought that reaching their goal was going to change their lives. And now they don't trust it. They're not sure who they are. It's changing their dynamics and relationships and friendships. It's opening up this whole other level of confidence. And it's causing people to self-reflect. And it really opens up a lot of doors, which you think is really exciting for people. It also can be terrifying for people. And even me now, like last year, okay, so I was flying here, flying there, had all these things I want to do with my business, and my business was heading a certain way. And I'm like, I'm not having any fun here. I'm not actually enjoying this. And now I just want to stay put. I just want to just stay close to home. I want to organize my space so I just feel fantastic where I'm at. I want to indulge in the little everyday moments of my life. And I want to do less. My model for 2026 is to do less. I want to work smarter, not harder. And I'm no longer trying to save the world and save everybody. If I can help just one person make change, that is now enough for me again. And I think big business forced me to make it about continuing to help as many people as possible so that I could continue to make money, to grow the business, to pay our employees paychecks. And obviously we have a great team and I care a lot about them.
Right.
But I just was like, not, and I think if you were a member who's been following me for a while, yeah, I've been through some stuff. I've been through menopause. My kid's dad died. I've been through a lot of stuff in the last couple of years, but they've probably seen the change in me from when I first started, and my mission just help people. And I didn't care how I was doing it. It was honest, it was authentic, and then it became very curated. And lately people have been saying, "Oh, you remind me of the old Gina." I'm like, "Yeah, because the old Gina had a like-minded mission that wasn't about business and paying paychecks. It was just helping people." And so I'm mindful every single day. It's a lot of work. So we did a whole new rebrand and look for January. And so I was looking at sort of what we built before. It was colorful and loud and distracting. And I was like, God, women don't need this. They need to grab their coffee in the morning and feel calm. Not like
Yeah.
we just entered a circus. And so the last minute, the final hour, I got my team to redo it. I don't think they were happy with me. And, I love my team, but my designers are primarily men. And I don't know that they quite got the mission on this one. And I'm like, we need to redo it. We're scrapping it. It's all about feel. I want you to go into the program, open up the app and feel like there's support and feel like you want to spend time there. So yeah, man, things have evolved a lot. Mindfulness is like daily. It's like it's so much work, but also makes life so much easier.
It does. Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. And that's honest, because I think that, I've had a chance to observe you over the last 5 years, and I've seen those exact things that you just mentioned, where, sometimes when your program, which clearly is helping so many people, it was on like a rocket pace of increasing numbers. But it's easy to lose ourselves. And I kind of just want to bring this up in terms of people that are listening right now. This is a good analogy for people's lives, is that when you're kind of in the moment where, you know, your kids in school, your kids in sports, they're successful, maybe your work is busy and stressful and taking off. But if you lose yourself in that process, then you can't be there for everyone and you're going to be unhappy doing it. And I think if I'm reading between the lines here, you realize that you're not the best version of Gina Livy if you're not actually doing what you just described as your mission for this year, which is like, you know, you've heard me say on your podcast, like less is more, simplify. I think I said that.
Yeah, it's so hard. I've been thinking a lot lately just about life and all the pressures and demands that we have and the way as humans we've come to live. It seems a little like, God, why did we create such a stressful way of living for ourselves?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's so many, every day I hear something from a member who is, we had a member just the other day whose husband passed away, 53 years old, out of the
Wow.
blue. Not what she would expected. People taking care of their spouses or their parents, right? Just when they felt like they got the kids out of the house, or new moms taking on things that everyone told them it was going to be wonderful and joyful and la la la. And they're actually haven't had sleep and they're struggling. And for so many reasons, people struggle when they're just trying to live their life, let alone trying to make this big life overhaul or these big changes. And you know, I think that people have to not be afraid to do what they want in the way that they want it. And I think the reason why they don't is because it's hard for other people. And everyone has an opinion on how you're living your life. I think marriage to me, which is really interesting, was a constant compromise. So I'm not sure my spouse was ever happy, my first husband, or that I was ever happy, because it was constant compromise. With my new relationship that I got in, I was really aware of that. And I was like, I don't want to tell you what to do, because I don't want you telling me what to do. You do you, I'll do me. And we've pretty much maintained that. And I think that is like, when I see younger couples or couples who've been together for a while and haven't gotten to that place, it's, man, that's a stressful way to be. And so I think it's a lot easier said than done to say, do what makes you happy. Because doing what makes you happy sometimes is really difficult for other people and has consequences for other people too.
It does.
Yeah. And we're taught that that's selfish, but then all you end up doing is being in a situation where you end up needing people to help you, to help you take care of you. And then you're not happy. And I don't think that's the way to live. I don't think.
Yeah. You said something interesting earlier. You said that if GLP-1s didn't exist, the Livy program or the Livy method would have been through the roof. So
I would have been talking to you from my Bentley, my penthouse, and wherever. Oh, I'm sure I would have been rolling in the dough, and business would have been amazing. Not that it was ever about money to begin with. Like it's never about money for me for some reason. It's never been a motivator of mine, but I'm sure my weight loss company would be worth like millions of billions of dollars, because it was really good. It's good and it's effective, and people are losing a clinical amount of weight, and it's where people want to be health wise and longevity wise. So just because of the trend, because I've been doing this a really long time, people were tired of the counting and the weighing and the measuring. They'd done it all before. But yeah, GLP-1s came. They're interesting because they are so great. They are so great in a sense that they can help a lot of people who needed to lose weight really quickly. Right. Like I think that they're a game changer for people. So in that sense, I wouldn't change anything, because the issue with my program is, you know, we'd have to get it out there on a global scale. And as you know, obesity is like, it's such a huge issue for people, and people dealing with obesity are dealing with major health issues where their lives are at risk, and they don't have the time necessarily to go about it and do it in a healthy way, because they have to lose their weight sooner rather than later. So I'm glad that we've been able to provide all these weight loss medications, although they do have their side effects. They've been around for years.
Is there a downside? Like, so, you know, I know that I do think that it's a revolutionary approach. It's a revolutionary class of medications. And I think there's an incredible amount of money being poured into more research.
Yes.
So do you believe it's the magic bullet?
No. Oh gosh, no. No, I believe that they're here to stay.
Yeah,
right? So
I
I'm
agree
not
with
about
that.
to fight them. I had always helped people who had gastric bypass. Right. So to me, that's kind of like, I know it's not the same, but same, but different in a sense, medical intervention, and where people were restricted in what they could eat. Therefore, they would lose a lot of weight. But then also people would slowly gain their weight back. And I very quickly come to realize that, okay, that medical intervention, whether it's gastric or taking medication, it helps with, what does it help do really? And I know they work in different ways, but it helps you not eat as much. And so actually I was just at an obesity conference in Atlanta last year where
Mhm.
we know that people are eating less, but they're just eating less of the same food. They're not eating healthier. They're just
Mhm.
eating less of the same food. So they really are not making sustainable lifestyle changes so that when they do lose their weight, they can come off their medication. I mean, that's the primary reason why people gain their weight back plus more. I mean, that muscle loss, there's a whole other thing to it, as you know. So, I don't think it's any easier for someone to lose their weight in a healthy, sustainable way if you're taking weight loss medication. It may be easier to lose the weight, but as we know, I think the rate now is that you gain your weight at like 4 times the rate back when you take weight loss medications as opposed to losing it in other
Well,
ways.
and that's, as a naturopath, that's exactly where my head goes, is that, yeah, I do think it's a tool that opens the door for some people that have tried a lot of things, and they have a lot of that food noise. You hear that term a lot.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just wondering, Gina, it's a fairly new medication. Really, it's the last 5 years, honestly, really the last 2 years that we're seeing so many people on it.
It's crazy.
I'm a little skeptical about maybe the long term things, and I think that we
Same.
have to kind of put it in its right place. So I don't know. I think there's a huge need for a program like the Livy Method still, and
Yep.
I don't think it'll ever replace it. I think that there's complementarity between it. I think we also need to fully be cautiously optimistic that, it's not good. It's not a magic bullet, because as you just pointed out, it doesn't work for everybody. There's some side effects. And for those that it works for, there's things like muscle mass and some GI stuff that happens over and above even some of the more rare side effects.
To me, it's more than that. I see this comment I see from Sandy. I can't help myself but read the comments. She says,
Yeah.
I've lost 84 pounds now and still going. The Livy Method works, but you need to put in the work for yourself. You need to do the work.
Yeah.
Medications don't help you work through issues and associations, as you know, your habits, your beliefs, past traumas, any of those things. For me, it's not just like the actual, stomach paralysis or muscle loss, the loss of
Yeah.
muscle mass. It's the enjoyment of life. That's what I hear a lot about. Like, I want
Yes.
people to lose their weight in a way that they can enjoy all the yummy bites of bits that life has to offer. I think if you don't have an appetite for food, how do you have an appetite for life? And I know that's very complicated, because someone who can lose a lot of weight, that's very life-changing in so many ways for them. I'm thinking maybe someone who didn't fit in an airplane seat, so that didn't allow them to travel. And now they've lost the weight, so they're able to travel, but travel to do what? Not enjoy the food? And I don't know. Like, I think there's implications that we really, like, from a human perspective, in terms of like living our lives in happiness and joy.
Right.
I do know there's there's side effects, but to me, like, I think even if you took the GLP-1 or any weight loss medications, the goal is to have it help you lose your weight, but then make the changes you need to make to be able to maintain and sustain your weight on your own, which is being able to trust when to eat. I'm actually hungry versus triggered or out of habit or coping. What to eat? I need a steak. I need protein. I need leafy greens. I need some greens. I want some fruit. And then how much to eat? Like, really knowing the exact moment where I've truly had enough to feel satisfied versus if I'm going to take a few more bites, I'm going to overeat. And I think that's what those medications don't do. And no one is talking about. And so I feel like, now bringing it back to the first question that you asked me, I feel like I'm paving my own way. I've always been ahead of the game with weight loss. I think I'm creating a new space with like sustainable weight loss, where like nobody is having the conversations that we're having about, once you lose your weight, how do you actually maintain and sustain it? So I think that's actually a new space where I'm going to be, sometimes being ahead of the game is beneficial, and sometimes it's not really. But here we are.
I totally agree with you. I think that I was recently reading a paper that was showing, or was highlighting, the fact that one of the more unreported side effects of GLP-1s is that there's a decrease in libido.
Yeah, that.
Right.
Oh, can you imagine? Okay, no,
Well,
thank
I
you.
mean, exactly.
Woo.
So at the end of the day, you could start thinking about, okay, so it's going to decrease my food noise, but it's also decreasing that pleasure dopamine pathway, which is very dysregulated and under attack all day long by, things like this. But what are some other things that are required for us to feel the joy and the passion in life?
Yeah.
So I guess what I want to say is that I think GLP-1s need to be put in the right place. And I think it's alongside a program like the Livy method, which you and I have talked about at length, that there's complementarity between doing some of that harder work. While maybe GLP-1s is that little push in the butt to get you kind of going, I don't think it is a magic bullet.
It's not a weight loss pill or program or method. You need systems and methods for actual change. I think about Ozempic because that's kind of where like the conversation started. So we had people taking Ozempic to manage diabetes for years. That was nothing new for us. And so someone would take an Ozempic, it would help them with their insulin, help them with all of that. They'd be able to drop their A1C, go from pre-diabetic into normal range, whatever, just by making lifestyle changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think weight loss medication should be looked at as the same. It can help alongside a health and wellness program where you're actually making. But I've seen far too many people go online and be like, "Oh, I'm literally not changing anything. I'm just taking the medication." I'm like, that's not a good thing. Like that's not it. And so I think so many people are looking at it. I think the problem is so many people look at it as a magic pill rather than some assistance that's helping them. Maybe get a handle on appetite, maybe get a handle on food noise. And I don't know. I just know with my husband, for my ex-husband being so sick and he eventually passed of health complications, taking any medication for too long is not good for you. It's just, like any medication, for long periods of time, it is not like you're not supposed to take your blood pressure medication for the rest of your life. So you're supposed to make lifestyle changes so that you don't need it. Ideally, you're not supposed to take your cholesterol medication for the rest of your life, depending on why you have high cholesterol in the first place. I obviously know it's nuanced, but these things are meant to help you so that you can make the changes that you need to make, so you no longer need them anymore. I mean, my ex-husband had a 19% output in his heart. Obviously, he had things happen that were not reversible. He needed to take these medications, but he was told outright that will affect the longevity of your life. Taking these medications will help prolong your life, but ultimately they will be the demise of you because your body's not meant to be on these medications forever. And so that's what concerns me about this. So take them, but understand they're an aid and do the work that the people who've lost their weight naturally are telling you need to do, because it doesn't, for lack of a better word, you're not off the hook from doing all the hard work is the mental part. And
but a lot of people think that they are off the hook because they're like, well, I'm on this weight loss medication. I think there's a strong psychological aspect too, where people they see everyone around them like, oh, I walk through California and everyone's on GLP-1 and they look like stick thin. And so, there's this
people in California always look.
I
like
know.
that.
I just had a patient that told me this recently, so that's why it's top of mind.
I went to California when I was young. I'm like, why is everyone like tanned and fit? And like, California is a weird place and space. Well, it's weird because that's sort of like been celebrities, or that's been like sort of like where people go. And then this is where also those are the people who are taking the medication to be so super thin. Why do we follow anything that comes out of California? It's not real. It's not real life.
Exactly. The weather's not real life. So I think you're just happier when you have more sun and it's warm.
Yeah, it's not real life.
Gina, what's the biggest, in your experience, weight loss myth that's holding people back?
Calories in versus calories out. It's as simple as eat less, exercise more. Well, I shouldn't say you can lose weight that way. But as you know, that's simplifying. Okay, if you simply eat less, you exercise more, it equals weight loss. And it does. But then, real sustainable weight loss is, yes, where those calories are coming from is really important, the nutrient value. And then what your hormones choose to do with that nutrient value, plus things like your microbiome, the state of your digestive system, plus your habits. Like, people lose weight. Let's just say you lost it anyway. Why do you gain it back? Because you don't give your body time to adjust to your new weight, create a new set point. And then why? Because you go back into old habits. Situational change. Something happens in your life, it throws you for a loop. What happens? You go back into old habits. You stop being mindful. And why does not being mindful matter? Because you go back into old habits, right? So healthy, sustainable weight loss is so much more than calories in versus calories out. And I honestly truly think the oversimplification of calories in versus calories out is why we have an obesity issue. Yes, we have a very obesogenic like environment that we live in with all these processed foods, and there's that too. So I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but the calories in versus calories out is never worked for anybody. It worked. That's the problem. Everyone perceives that, yes, it works, but it doesn't work for you to be able to actually maintain and sustain your weight. So weight loss is actually not your problem. You're going to get there. Follow the steps. You will lose your weight. Yes, it's easier for some than it is for others, but it's being able to maintain your weight. It's not everyone's talking weight loss. They need to talk about maintaining their weight.
For sure. And that's the issue with these really restrictive programs, no carb diets. These have been around for years. And that's, I think, the program that you started was born out of that. Thinking back, Gina, 20 years ago.
Gotta think when that was. What year was that? Okay.
2006.
2006. Okay.
Did you ever imagine that you were here, and what kind of drove you to get to where you are now?
Well, it wasn't money, I'll tell you that. 2006. So I would have had my first child, second child. Then did I have 3 kids by 2007 was my last one. Yeah. So 3 kids. I was working, I was doing a TV show. I had worked in television, breakfast television, hosted my own television show. So I love coming on, talking in front of people. And then quit because I had kids and couldn't sustain that, but did producing my own show out of Aurora Cable and then Rogers TV, which was all about health and wellness and cooking and, just how to live a healthy lifestyle. So I was kind of ahead of the game with the lifestyle piece of it, but I was also helping clients. And I'm a small town girl. And so born and raised in Peterborough, most of my family now lives in Lakefield. I was in Aurora, Ontario, and I would help people and then see them the next year or whatever. So I had to help because they were paying me pretty decent money. They'd pay me, I would help them lose weight. And then I would continue to see them after the fact. So I needed them to lose weight in a way that they would be able to maintain and sustain. That's at a time where people were texting me every day. Plus I'd be meeting with people. And
right.
I always say what made me really good at weight loss was that I was hands-on helping people. So I would be hearing why it's so hard for them to make change, what was going on in their life, what they were struggling with. It wasn't just putting people on a diet and that was the end of it. I was starting people with the basic food plan, and then they would text me bowel movements, how they felt, the amount of water that they drank, every little detail about themselves. So I got to really learn that it was so much more than just forget calories in versus calories out, what you're eating and when, and really started to understand what people were going through while trying to make this change. And so that I think was where it was never about money for me. That was the worst. When I got together with my new husband in 2016, I'd be working with people that hadn't paid me in a long time. He's like, "What, collecting money?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just really want to help them." He's like, "Well, how do you pay your bills if you just want to help people?" So it's never been about money. It's been about truly, why is this person not losing weight? And when I work one-on-one, I really got to really dive into that. So those were the good old years for me where I was working one-on-one with people and also trying to be I think I was depressed too. I think I did all of that dealing with postpartum. When I think about some of my kids, I remember wanting to toss my 3rd child out the window. I don't think I gave her a bath for three weeks. Looking back now, I'm pretty sure I had postpartum, but nobody was talking about that. So yeah, life is hard and people are trying really hard, and it's about problem solving. I think if you were to take it back to 20 years ago, I was realizing that eating less, exercising more, spin classes, followed by a step class, followed by a yoga class, followed by a whatever, it just didn't work for people. And no one was talking about that. Especially I was working at a country club and the women there were a little older. I was obviously 20 years younger and the women there were older, and it just seemed like the like how much less could they eat? How much more could they work out? And they not only were not losing weight, they were gaining weight. And now, ding, 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 knowing as much as I do about menopause now, which nobody talked about back then, that obviously was what was going on. This very restrictive way of losing weight was working against these women's bodies. Not so when I had them eating more often, taking supplements. I mean, let's talk about supplements, right? We talk about omega-3 with our sponsor today. Like those omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium, like those haven't changed in the entire time I've been doing this. Foundational. And what are the top supplements for menopause? Omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium, right? Brain health, right? What's the top supplements for that? Omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium, like all of that, right? So now I look back on those years and the women who I was helping, a lot of them would have been going through menopause. And my program was the only thing that was working for them at a contrast of what was available, which was eat less, exercise more. Maybe keto was coming on the scene. I think keto was a little bit later, but
a bit later after that, but that was pretty
keto was
popular.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to do something a little different right now. I want to cover a lot of different kind of topics, but we're going to do kind of like a lightning round question.
Oh, I'm the worst at that. You see me? What time is it? Is it 3:00 in the afternoon
I
right
know.
now? Probably we've gone for 4 hours. Okay, I'll try.
So I'm going to say one word and then you have to kind of say, what's the thing that kind of comes to mind, and you're only allowed to do it in one sentence.
Okay. Shit.
Okay. So we're going to say something like, menopause. And how would you respond to that? Just like, what's the thing that kind of comes to mind that maybe you want people to hear?
It's 80% lifestyle. That's it. 80% lifestyle. You can take HRT can help, but it helps you sleep. And then getting sleep helps with weight loss. It's lifestyle. As much as HRT is not the answer, although it's 80%
Can be really
lifestyle.
helpful.
80% lifestyle.
Weight Watchers.
And they're desperately trying. They're trying to get it. They fucked up. They fucked up. They made it big business. Weight Watchers it's big business, and they just say what they think works, and count points is still counting and weighing and measuring. Lifetime membership for weight loss. That's all I got to say. They want that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I mean, like, whatever. Teach his own.
AG1.
Yeah. I mean, I took this for a while. I felt good. Mentally felt good. Mentally, I'm doing all the things. I don't know that it made me feel better, to be honest. But I think doing anything is better than doing nothing. And that was really easy. Easy, but costly. That's my full honest. It's not cheap for most people.
No, this is what I want. I want just kind of like, what are your like really core thoughts on each one?
You know what? The best thing about AG1 was my kids thought it was really cool. And so we used to all take our AG1 together in the moment. So collectively as a family, we felt like we were doing something. But I didn't actually feel any better from it. But I also take my regular supplements. So yeah, I'd rather take an omega-3 over a good omega-3 over a whole AG1 any day. With that.
Sure. I agree. AG1, people are asking in the comments, it's athletic greens. It's a greens powder.
Yeah.
It's promoted by a ton of celebrities.
Wait, what was the first one? Like Greens Plus or something? Like
Greens Plus, yeah.
It's been around forever. They just
Juice
add
Plus
more.
was another one. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like those are great. I just like if you're missing the foundationals, like that's the problem. Not like if you are already super healthy and quite frankly wealthy and can afford your AG1, it's a nice product. It's a really nice product.
Also, it's like you have to be careful. It's a proprietary blend, which means it's like there's a whole bunch of stuff mixed into it. There's like plant extracts. There's
I want to do a supplement with you where it's like, why can't we like I don't know. So, like if I was, what would I put something in? Something that's got omega-3, but enough, something probiotic-y for your digestive system. Something,
that's our next project is probiotics.
Right? Like that's like that microbiome, something like, I don't know, it adjusts inflammation, I don't know what that would be, but I just find a lot of them are it's just a waste of money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe in supplements though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's like all these menopause concoctions. I don't know.
Okay. Let's go back to the lightning round.
Okay. Sorry. See, I told you.
See, we got sidetracked. Let's stay on point. Next question. Keto.
Keto is just more eating less, exercise more. I think so. It's like, I mean, I'm from
only
I've been
one
around.
sentence, Gina.
Oh,
One sentence.
shit. You need carbs. You need carbs. You need carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather people do a structured fast than keto. Do a fast if you want, but then you need your carbs.
Right. Alcohol.
Oh, God.
Touchy one.
Yeah, I just come to realize for me, I love my red wine. I pay for it for a week, bloated, digestive issues. Love it. But you got to know when it's not working for you.
Top health tech.
What is that? I don't even know.
Like, what do you like? Like,
Oh,
are you like are you a wearable girl? Are you
yeah.
a red light girl?
The problem is like I have an Aura ring and I love it, but once I know now I know if I drink alcohol, it really messes with my sleep.
Mhm.
I think they're fun, they're great. I think your scale is your first tech. The scale is the first tech. It's data collection, but along with what you are doing. So I think you have to be able to know how to use the tech for it to be valuable. You have to follow through. Not just close your rings every day. You gotta,
Right.
If it helps, whatever. I don't care.
Personal health hack for you.
Oh, it's just water. When I'm dehydrated, it affects my energy, my brain function, my cravings. It's work. I suck at it just like most people. It's a lot of work. It's really hard. But if I was to do one simple thing that people could do, it would probably be drink more. Why everyone's so afraid of drinking too much, and yeah, they're probably just epically dehydrated. Drink water.
Creatine.
Yeah, people take too much. And then they're like, I gained weight and I'm bloated. How much you taking? 15 grams a day. I mean, like what? Like, come on. I think it can be great if you're working out. I would leave this one to you in terms of the effects that we know it's having on either the brain or your digestive system. Like what I know there's maybe potentials it's the most studied, but I take it or leave it. I'm not a big gym girl. If I was going to the gym a lot and working out, I'd be on it every day for sure.
Favorite exercise?
AquaOmega.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I used to teach it, and AquaOmega. Yeah.
Cool. Favorite food?
Lobster and onion rings together.
Together?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Lobster. I think lobster. Yeah, lobster and onion rings. I do. Although people know me for my oysters, I love oysters too.
So you're a seafood girl a little bit.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Okay. Always have been. I've loved lobster. My grandparents, when they would take me, I would be like, "What do you want to eat?" And I would be like, "Lobster," not knowing like at the time how expensive that would be.
No, you've expensive taste,
Now I'm like, who do I think I was back then? Oh my God.
Here's an important one that you talk about a lot. Detox.
Yeah. Detox. Oh, fuck, a bitch. Such a bitch. But necessary. And normal.
Is it pseudoscience?
No, but I wish people knew that their body was always detoxing. Like you don't make your body detox. And that's why I'm not a big fan of detox cleanses or teas or any of that stuff. You're just helping your body be more efficient at everything it does. And detox is I love to oversimplify detox. I'm the oversimplification queen. But
it's helpful to start that way. I think you talk about hydration, which is the fundamental detox thing. Like your body's detoxing every second of the day.
Every second of the day, yeah.
So just allow it to do its job better by giving it the tools it needs.
Well, and this is like, fasting is really giving your body that time, like, autophagy and all that for your body to like really spend the time detoxing. Because if you're like eating every second of the day, it's hard to do that. And that's why I think like I'm really putting more emphasis for people to not eat after dinner. Yes, because of sleep, but also because of like that, what your body does at night, that detox process. But yeah, I think the problem with detox is people have made it pseudoscience and made people afraid to talk about it when it's important. You can't make your body detox, but you can support your body in detox. I mean, when you're sick, what's your body doing? It's detoxing. right?
Yeah.
Like it's, your menstrual cycle in a way. It's detoxing. It's, food poisoning. Get food poisoning. You want to talk
You're
about
detoxing
detox.
every time you sleep.
Yeah.
There's this really neat, elegant detox system in the brain called the lymphatic system. You've all heard of the lymphatic system in your armpits. When you get, swollen lymph nodes when you're sick, that's just the body's way of processing and transporting immune cells. But your brain, the reason you have to sleep, it's the number one biggest pressure that we have in our brain with the adenosine buildup. Sleep is the greatest form of torture, sleep deprivation, because you need to do it and your brain will demand it. So anyways, you detox every second of the day. This is a big one for me because I think a lot of times we get ripped on by, skeptics saying, oh, that's just BS that you have to detox. I'm like, you're doing it every moment of every day. And so why don't we just eliminate the crap that's making that harder for you to do? And so your body can actually detox.
Yeah, I'm so over skeptics. I don't know if it's that I've got my menopause day coming up on Saturday, or like I don't even care anymore because now the skeptics are making money in their own way. The skeptics are bashing people to get the clicks and the views and it's now big business to become a skeptic, and it's not for people's, or they'd be more flexible on their views, right? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's finish up with menopause, because I think we've talked about it quite a bit, and I think it's a question that everyone's asking in the questions, and we'll kind of be a good segue into that. The biggest thing that I've seen with my practice, Gina, is that people get into this menopausal age and stuff starts happening. Shit hits the fan, so to speak. What's your advice to people going through menopause so they can navigate it the best as possible?
If I think about my own journey, and I had it all. I had vertigo, oh my God, frozen shoulder, heart palpitations, heartburn, night sweats, like you name it, I had it. I blew it all off as stress. And the reason why I probably had a lot of those symptoms is the state of my body when I started to transition through menopause. Yeah, I think awareness is the biggest piece, and there's not something wrong with you, it's what's going on with you. I think that's that women's like, what's wrong with you? Like the menopause conversation blew up. I honestly think the menopause conversation, it blew up because that was a thing for us to all talk about. I think there's something bigger here. I think it's women feeling lost. What we talked about in the beginning, us prioritizing everyone else above themselves. We realized we've gotten to this place in our lives, and are we actually really happy? And so I think menopause, we were questioning, are we happy in relationships? Are we happy in our jobs? And menopause did not make our relationships easier, and menopause did not make our job easier either. So I really think it's a bigger conversation about how you are living your life and where you are at and what you need. And I think that the transition now, I feel fantastic. I feel amazing. I didn't actually choose to do any sort of hormone therapy. I went sort of more the lifestyle change for me, and maybe I'm one of the lucky ones, but and talk about sleep. It's like how your brain kind of washes at night when you sleep. Menopause is like a big wash. I don't know about people watching, but I was so connected to my children. And now as they get older, and my youngest turned 18 and my oldest is going to be 26, I'm kind of in letting go with everything. I'm even I gave you life, child, go on with it. Be independent. I'm feeling myself. So I feel like menopause is like a big wash preparing us for our next stage and phase where we're more self-confident, self-assured. It's a physical and mental way to let things go and get you to a different place. I think the problem is we haven't studied the value of that. So when we go through hormonal changes through our teens, we know what's on the other side of that. We've studied it. When we go through hormonal changes with childbirth, we studied what's on the other side of that. We have not studied what is on the other side of menopause. And I think if you can look at it, I know it sounds like horseshit. If you can look at it, this is another transition for you, and you have to take a big look at where you're at, what's going on, what you need to help you get to the other side of that, whether it's, conversations with your doctor or lifestyle changes or a change in your job if you're really not happy, or a change in your relationship if you really aren't happy. That's how I look at that. And it's so much bigger than just menopause, I think, or perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause. It's a bigger conversation, but the conversation that's the place we're having it. That's our outlet.
Right.
I don't know what you asked me, but that's how I feel.
No, I asked you about menopause and what's your kind of like, biggest piece of advice, people that are trying to navigate that.
I've helped a lot of women navigate through menopause without even knowing it at
100%.
the time. And I wrote this book. Called The Comeback. It's my new book. I know on my holidays, I wrote this book called The Comeback. It's not like a to-do book. It's a readiness book. And it's really about feeling lost and not honoring yourself and knowing why you feel the way that you do. And I think women are so stuck on that they can't move forward sometimes because they're just so stuck on like where they're at. They don't know how to move forward because they're so stuck on what they did or didn't do. And change is hard for so many reasons.
And so like, I think you just hit the nail on the head talking about menopause. We could take that talking about the hormones. We could talk about the weight changes and how it's harder to do this. My body composition is changing, but you're talking about like the bigger picture, which is like the psychological side. But so many times when you think of menopause, the first word that comes to mind for women is, or hot flashes or can't sleep. It's all negative, Gina.
Yeah,
it's actually all negative. And so how do we change the narrative? I think that's kind of what you're trying to say, is that how do we change the narrative to this is like a metamorphosis to this next stage and maybe reclaiming what you've unfortunately ignored or lost over the last 2 decades?
Yeah, we're miserable during menopause because it's a shit show. I think this is where, like, for me, like my weight went up. Like I gained weight. I had all these things. Again, I kept blowing it off. And it wasn't until I was like, okay, like I went to my doctor. She was like, here's some antidepressants. And I was like, antidepressants? And I'm like, listen, they can be a lifesaver. For me, I was like, am I actually doing everything I know I can do before I take these antidepressants? And I wasn't. So I doubled down on my sleep, hygiene. I went for walks every day, not for movement, but for mental health. I said no. I had a year of saying no to everybody. I pissed off so many people. I had commitments. People were angry at me. I'm sure people still aren't talking to me. I probably didn't make a good name for myself because I bailed on some big things. I stopped drinking alcohol. Like I did the things you talk about. I learned from you. It's the things you're avoiding are probably the things you need to do. Was that fun because alcohol was my coping mechanisms? No, none of those. All of those things were work. But that's where I needed to look. I need to pull out the big guns with the things that I needed to do, which wasn't easy for anybody, not me included, but also anybody else in my life. And this is why when you say menopause, it's 80% lifestyle. Medications help, HRT helps, those things help because they help you actually get better sleep and make better choices.
Function. And some women have a very mild symptom presentation, and some women it's very severe. And so I think, Lonnie's asking the question in the chat, is hormone therapy for postmenopause helpful? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It can be a game changer.
Yeah.
But if you do the things that are lifestyle and diet related, it is absolutely both of our experiences, if I can speak for us, Gina, that a lot of the symptoms get better. And it's the things that maybe we don't want to go into, like giving up alcohol that might dramatically change your hot flashes. I hear that a lot with my patients. So
HRT is probably to menopause, which GLP-1s are to weight loss. It's a tool, but if you're expecting that, I've heard from so many people who've taken HRT and they're like, I haven't lost any weight. Well, are you doing the things you need to do to lose the weight as well? I had the worst of the worst symptoms. I don't think you need to be happy and sunshiny and take an optimistic look at menopause. It's easy to say that for me now, knowing where I'm at. It's a real struggle for women, and get all the help and use all the resources you can. But don't be taking HRT and not be taking your omega-3 or have your vitamin D levels tanked or not taking your magnesium, or taking your HRT thinking it's going to solve everything when you need to get your ass out of your house and go for a walk, or you want your HRT, you think that's going to fix everything when you're downing a whole bottle of red wine every night. Like, this is where, but listen, I'm not about to tell anybody it's sunshine and rainbows because it's shit.
It's hard.
Shit. It's awful. It's awful. And but I think it's so awful because of the state that we are in when we arrive.
Yes,
That's why I think it's so bad for
I also think up to now, HRT's really been kind of a lot of shade's been thrown on it, and women, I think that really needed it. And some of the long-term benefits of HRT, as Lindsay's pointing out on the comments, I think were ignored because everyone's focused on, and medical doctors like, nope, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. And it's carte blanche bad for everyone, where I think there's a very judicious use of it. So,
well, that's a bigger, like, women, they haven't been studying women for women's health, right? Everything for women has been based on research with men, a lot of it. And I think this is, again, it was a bigger thing, right? Like it was, it was a bigger thing. We didn't really care about HRT and didn't look more into it because women weren't, like, we weren't part of the conversation. Like women have evolved a lot in the last 50 years alone. Right. And so I think this is why I mean, it's like such a bigger conversation. I think it's nice that it's kind of died down so that you can be like, what do you got? Like what area? You can't lump everything into menopause, right? Like what's your stress levels? What you got going on in your life? How do you deal with this? What are your sleep hygiene habits? Like, all of that affects how your body functions. So you got to address how your body functions.
One of the last questions I'm going to ask you is, what are your top 3 menopause hacks that you'd suggest? If you had to distill it down to 3, what if you had a friend that was like, hey, I'm about to go through this, what would you tell her?
I would tell them to go to their healthcare provider and look into HRT, something I didn't do because it just wasn't I went to my doctor. She gave me antidepressants, although I'm sure that would have been helpful for me. But a year later, she's like, what do you want? I got it all. She didn't know. And so I think doctors are more informed. So I would say go visit your doctor. The other ones I would say, like, take stock of where you are at in your life and what you need on a health and wellness perspective, right? Like your stress levels, your sleep, your movements. And then I really am. And, I think supplements are a game. You have to help your body work at the most basic level. And I think people really underestimate. There's 2 things they underestimate: the benefits of supplements like an omega-3, vitamin D. I know I keep drilling that home, but those are like, if you just take anything,
The foundationals, right?
Foundational stuff. Yeah. I think it's really big. How many is that so far? Is that?
No, that's good. That's good.
Pass me 3.
Yeah.
And alcohol, I would personally, for me, it was a game changer because it made me depressed.
Yeah.
Because menopause was hard enough. And when I drank the alcohol, although God, it was amazing in the moment, the next day it made me so depressed. It was very hard for me to deal with all of it by being depressed each day from drinking alcohol.
And then your stress resilience goes down because your moods and your neurochemistry is off, right? So yeah, those are 3 excellent recommendations.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something you don't want to share, but what are the supplements?
Have you met me? I'll share whatever.
What supplements do you take? I'll tell you, and then you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
You know what? Probiotic has been a big one for me lately. Yep. Same thing with L-theanine. I'm back on that. Omega-3. I like take the DHA and the EPA one.
Yep.
But brain health is really important to me because going through menopause, my aunt had dementia, Alzheimer's. My grandpa had Alzheimer's, and so I'm deathly afraid of that. And so for brain health, omega-3 is really important. I don't go anywhere without my magnesium. I take it with me everywhere. Vitamin D. I mean, and then the supplements that we talk about in the program, my B complex. What's the other one? The one that's good for your brain. What's that called? The adaptogen one.
Yeah, adaptogen. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
adaptogen.
Like ashwagandha, for example, maybe.
Yeah. Mine's like it's a
rhodiola.
A Gonda thing. It's a Gonda thing.
Yeah.
I want to, what I want to talk to you about is like the longevity ones, like, or like what's the ones that I can take for like the longevity stuff. I want to live forever.
Save that for another conversation, maybe in the Livy method. Yeah. I'll share everything
but
with you.
I'm not out taking anything crazy. Like what I really believe in covering the basics, foundational supplements. And then from there, I believe in going and being like, what do you actually are deficient
What do
in?
you need? Yeah.
There was a time in my life where they thought I had a brain tumor, like literally got me in for like a brain scan, MRI. Like they thought I had a brain tumor because I had this vertigo where I woke up one day and couldn't walk. And it ended up being what they said at the time, a chemical imbalance in my brain. Right. With the vitamin D, magnesium, like all of that. It was a chemical thing. They're like, yeah, you don't have a brain tumor. And I was like, oh, thank you. It really rocked my world. And to understand where deficiencies can affect you to that extent. Now, was it also menopause? Probably. Right. Because no one was talking about that. But yeah, I really believe hardcore and foundational. So at the very least, my foundations are already there. If there's
I'm the
anything
same
cool,
way.
let me know that I'm not taking.
There's always stuff cool. And I think this is where the level of personalization. So I think to your point, I kind of use the 5 foundational things: vitamin D, if you especially live in Canada, magnesium, you're going to have your omega-3s from a good fat oil perspective,
Yeah.
probiotics, and then, making sure we have enough protein in general. And I know a lot of people ask about that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need more protein than you need, but I think when people talk about protein, it's like they don't understand people what they're doing in the Livy method, right? Because like they're just assuming you're trying to lose weight, so you're not eating it. This is where I'm excited. I mean, I think about our supplement conversation where we talk in my weight loss program a lot, and I fear that we don't talk. I don't want to overload and make people think it's a supplement program, but I also feel that people are not putting enough weight on those foundational supplements. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wonder if maybe we just talk about the top ones. Here's Risa. I know who's in our group, vitamin D, B12, MCT oil, collagen, magnesium. Should I add it? Fiber. I think fiber is the new underrated. Fiber is the new underrated. No one's talking enough about fiber.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's part of the probiotic conversation, because that's a prebiotic. A lot of people don't realize that you can supplement with that, but that the beauty about fiber is, Gina, you can get it through your diet, where a lot of the other stuff we just talked about, like magnesium, vitamin D, you can't get that through your diet, but you can get fiber and you can get probiotics.
I do want to say that because I see somebody here. We get so much of that in the program too, with all the veggies. And that was my biggest takeaway, because for years people would say, well, I'm eating so healthy, I can get it. But if your digestive system is not functioning as well as it could, you can eat all these healthy, nutrient-rich foods. Or is your body absorbing those foods? And again, that's digestion. That's, my microbiome. And then also you'd have to curate what you're eating. You literally have to curate everything to make sure you're getting enough magnesium, curate everything to make sure you're getting enough. Vitamin D would be a hard one. You have to curate, you have to, unless you're eating salmon and foods high in omega-3s, there's no way you're getting enough omega-3 in your diet. Right. And so this, I think, is like the biggest fallacy when it comes myth is that, if I eat healthy, I'm getting everything that I need. And that's just, then when you add stress, you're being depleted. So it's it's the first to go is all your nutrient values and reserves. And so it's so hard to get it. I wish this is what I just said. I think we need to put more emphasis, because people don't realize eating healthy is not necessarily how you're going to get all the nutrients. So I'm a little bit passionate about that.
I'm that's up my alley. I absolutely love that. And guess what? Tuesday morning, 9 a.m., we're having the conversation about primary supplements.
I can't believe it's week 2. It's gonna be week 2 next week already. Yeah. That's insane to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So for those people that are part of the program, can you still get in your program, Gina?
So we had to do, oh my God, we rolled out our new app, which will allow people to start, or because of our app, even our old app, when you do it, you can just stay in the app and follow along, which doesn't matter when you start, or you can use the app and then connect to where we're at in the Facebook group. So I used to shut it down really early, because people's only way of getting their questions asked and answered was in the group. And, people would be on week 3, and people would be asking, first week questions. And it just was it was just too much. But now, because we have our app, I think people can sign up after the fact and still follow along. We're leaving the AI open for 2 weeks after the program. So up until, the first couple of weeks of the program, people can still sign up.
Okay, awesome. So people, if you're not in the Livy Method program, you still can sign up.
Yeah.
We have a link to the website in the show notes, and also Calvin's going to link that.
You can sign up anytime now, and do our Jumpstart guide or use our app. But to do our live session, it's we only run 3 times a year. And the current one just started. Yeah.
That's part of the secret sauce.
It is.
You have to buy in 3 times a year to hey, listen, I'm focused on this.
Yeah.
Gina, fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. I mean, honestly, it's so cool to just see how even you've evolved over the last 5 years since I've had a chance to work with you. I love that you're talking about mindset. I mean, I am starting to hear a lot of things that I've said also in that and vice versa. So is there anything that you want to leave the people that are listening right now with?
Well, I think you and I follow where it's going, right? We're where people are at because we talk to real people and sort of like the evolution of where, like, years ago I couldn't talk about self-love. People would think that was the corniest shit on the planet. And I don't care about self-love. I just want to get my ass into my jeans. I think you have to be really open. Someone said something in my group the other day about the guest expert segments, how they were on the 3rd program and they've heard it all. And I was like, oh, I hope I never get to that place, because every time I talk to one of my guest experts, I learn something new, like, or it unlocks something, or I see something a different way, or something's been happening in my life that then I hear something being framed like something you said. And then I'm just like, oh yeah. Like, I think just being really, you can make change. You can make change. You have to be open to the change that you need to make. Be the change you want to be, Yeah, I guess any of my takeaways, like, work with your body, not against it. Trust your gut. You know yourself better than anyone. And they say one diet doesn't work for everybody, but we're all human. So there are basics, like foundational supplements that work for everybody. My basic food plan works for everybody. And then we teach people how to make it individual to their needs. Just more self-awareness and more love for yourself, more kindness, more curiosity. Watch how you speak to yourself. Like, when you're trying to make changes in your health and wellness, berating yourself, getting on you, that's not how you do it. I think it's those things when you want to make change in your health and wellness that are really important.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Absolutely. I echo that. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And Calvin just posted some of the links. So I'll turn it over to Calvin just to wrap up. And thanks, everybody, for coming.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah, you guys did incredible. Like, a huge thank you to Gina Livy there and Dr. Paul Hrkal for like an honest, practical, insightful conversation. Everyone who's listening, I want to thank you all as well. I hope the discussion helped kind of cut through the confusion around weight loss and left you feeling informed, empowered, and supported to help you maintain and sustain, like Gina said, your weight loss goals. So before we wrap up completely, I do want to share these links with you kind of like as a thank you for being here live. It's 50% off your very first bottle of AquaOmega using the link there. There are 2. There's one for Canada and US. And I also want to invite everyone to our next webinar, which is next month, Friday the 13th, where we're going to be talking about nutrient deficiencies and how they might hold you back. So that's, again, going to be hosted by Dr. Paul Hrkal, as well as a special guest, Cameron Cogswell. And I do encourage you to check out Gina's new app there, or check out some more information on her website, livymethod.com. So once again,
are we getting a deal on our omega-3?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're going to get 50% off. Everyone here, I'm going to send an email with the recording of today's webinar in case you missed it or had to step out because someone was at the door. I saw some people in chat upset that they missed some of your answers. So they'll be able to kind of rewatch the replay as well.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. I swear to God, I did not skew my responses to Okay. I love saving money. This is right up my alley. That's great.
Yeah.
And
no, everyone
always want to know good products too,
totally,
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just usually buy whatever's on sale, to be honest. It's a good quality product on sale. So I love that. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Gina. I appreciate
Thanks,
it. And
Colin.
thank you guys again for spending your time with us. We look forward to see you guys on the next episode of the Unfiltered Dose. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, see you Tuesday. Bye.
We'll
Thanks,
see you Tuesday.
everyone.
Bye, Gina. Yeah.
I have to leave. What do